Hello, everyone. This is Angela here, and today I want to talk about my narcissistic mother's hoarding and how hoarding has negatively affected me being a child as a hoarder, and also some things about my brother's personality that I discovered which I believe is a result of my mother's hoarding disorder. And so I want to share that all with you today because I promised a while back that I would do a video on this subject, but I just never got around to it, so I'm doing it today. Okay, first of all, I have to say, when I look back into my childhood, my mother was a level 5 hoarder, much of which you see on the TV show Hoarders. I would say back during my childhood, it was more of, I don't know what you would consider a level 4 or a level 5, but the house was basically a shambles, okay? Every room in the house was pretty much filled with clutter and debris. Um, it was it was a mess. It was truly a mess. Um, but how did it affect me as an adult? Well, as I explained in my last video, we were very much hated by the people that lived on our street. I lived in an urban area in the city of Philadelphia, which I still live today. And it was very, we lived in a row home, and our house was infested with roaches to where the neighbors on each side both had a roach infestation due to my mother's hoarding. And back in those days, back in the late 70s, early 80s, 1980s, people didn't know anything about this disorder, or if they did know anything, they didn't talk about it. As I said, my parents were always fighting because my father wasn't getting his needs met, and the fighting was so intense that the neighbors could hear it. Um, we were very much, as a child, it was very hard to make friends because my mother did not properly groom me for school, and she did not, my parents didn't buy me like clothing, you know what I'm saying? I was always, a lot of times I went to school wearing the same clothes every day, and I was always like dirty and disheveled, and nobody ever did anything about it. Nobody. um I can honestly say my dad's mom tried her best. She would buy clothes on occasion and try to help, but even so, when I went to public school, it was more of an issue than when I went to Catholic school, because we wore a school uniform. In those days, you know, public school you could wear whatever you wanted, and in Catholic school you had to wear a school uniform because it was a private school. So I went to public school from sixth grade up to ninth grade, and I absolutely hated it. It was absolutely dreadful. I got teased a lot. People hated us. They not only hated us in the neighborhood, but they terrorized us. As I said, they threw rocks at the window, broke the window. When I was 15, they put an M80 firecracker in the doorway, blew the whole screen out, which caused the police to get involved. It was that bad, yeah. But growing up in that environment, one of the major issues was the fact that there was no fresh food. Okay, my mother's refrigerator smelled like a garbage truck. That's how nasty it was. And even if you had just bought something, okay, like say you bought a gallon of milk, it went sour quite quickly. And, so there was always this fear of eating something and it be bad or taste like really disgusting. A lot of times my mother used to try to feed us rotten food or food that had roaches in it. Like I told you the spaghetti in the pot story. And it's like she did not care. She was a narcissist on top of a hoarder, and her needs always came first. It's like our needs were never met. My brother, my mother's hoarding traumatized him, and as such, I believe that's the reason why he became an extreme neat freak to the point where his cleaning is borderline OCD, if not OCD, to the point where he washes his walls every week and his picture frames every week. And he was just crazy. Okay. In my opinion, that's a little bit extreme. I don't know. Maybe it's not. But he's the type of person that cannot have anything unless it's neat and OCD tidy. Okay. And in order. As a result of that, I became a people pleaser because I always felt like I had to go overboard to get people to like me because I had no friends in school, and I had one childhood friend, like I talked about, whose mother was just as dysfunctional. But I felt very much isolated and alone and very closed off to normal life as a child. And I also felt very terrorized by my parents fighting. It traumatically impacted me. And, I was always the type of person that always tried to not make waves and always try to fix everything and, just not accept people for who they are, but always try to fix things. You know what I'm saying? If any of you can relate to that. Um, I found it very hard to keep myself groomed and maintenance as a young adult, as a young woman. Like, I didn't know how to put makeup on or do my hair and do all that stuff that other young women and young girls did because my mother never taught me, and they never had YouTube, and I never had any friends to help me with that. So I had to discover a lot of things on my own. I also have something which I call quirky eating. I would almost call it as an eating disorder, but maybe not really. I don't know if it would be classified as an eating disorder, but I can only eat foods that I'm familiar with, okay? I do not eat any international food at all whatsoever. I cannot stomach it. I cannot taste it. If it doesn't smell familiar to me, I will not eat it. I won't even, I can't even try it. It's that disgusting. And you would think that me being a person of uh, a healthy weight, or even sometimes, a lot of times overweight, um, I wouldn't have these issues, but I do. Okay. I cannot eat Chinese food, Indian food, any food. I can eat very, very little Mexican food because Mexican is a lot like Italian, or Italian food or American food. And it's pretty much the basic bland stuff all the time. It's like I've tried to break this habit and try new things, but I would always be triggered back to my childhood and be quite traumatized by the experience of a foreign smell or a foreign taste. And I think it's all psychological. I really do. Um, has that negatively affected my life? Yeah, because a lot of times people, like friends or even boyfriends or whatever, want to go to a Chinese restaurant or some other type of restaurant, and I don't like it. Um, I don't particularly like Greek food. I've it took me a long, 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 long time to eat Greek yogurt. Okay, I had to force myself to try to like it, and how to get over that mental stigma that I have with regard to food, but it is a serious issue. Um, I also, my self-esteem was very much shattered as a young adult. I always felt like I had to chase that love. I had to earn that love, that I was unlovable, that I was a freak. My parents were freaks, and it was a major, major problem in my relationships with people. Um, I really had a lot of personal growth with the help of YouTube. And I'm not talking about um, people that share their individual stories, which everyone, I encourage everyone to express themselves whichever they feel. But for me personally, after my experiences with on YouTube, I tend to only stick with people that are mental health professionals like ASSC Direct or Little Shaman or Dr. Daniel Fox, or one of these people that are professionals, and not uh, watch these dysfunctional other YouTubers that have a lot of drama, a lot of nonsense, and you know, um, issues of their own, which don't have any business out here telling other people what's going on in their lives. Okay. And I just want to say that I have recovered from narcissistic abuse, as well as a person can be recovered. Okay. I accept my mother for who she was. She died this year, December 13th, 2019. My mother passed away. It was actually my brother's birthday. Um, and I accept my brother for who he is, and no contact with my brother. You know, I have a dysfunctional relationship with my youngest sister, who I believe needs extreme mental health treatment, but that's her journey and that's her choice. I wish her well. Um, we all suffered, okay? We all suffered. I'm not out here saying, oh, I'm a victim, and me. No, I don't live my life as a victim, okay? I had to overcome many things, but that's just life. There are a lot of people in the world, probably most people in the world, have some form of trauma that they need healing from. Okay, and I encourage everyone out here to get the healing that they need, whether it be genuine mental health treatment, or prayers help a lot, and learning to discover yourself is my best advice. But yeah, being a child of a hoarder severely negatively affected my life, my young life. Okay. I made bad choices, very bad choices at an early age, because I wanted to get the hell away from her. I wanted to get the hell away from my father. And I found myself falling down into a loveless marriage with another person who was a narcissist as well, genuine narcissist, very self-absorbed person he was. Not a good person, okay? I forgave him. I've moved on. And I'm living my best life. And I hope that you all are living your best life. I have put all that behind me. It is a part of me, but it is part of me in my past, not my present and not my future, okay? And I suggest that everyone, you need to realize that you are worthy of love, that if you are a child of a hoarder or a child of a narcissist or a child of both, realize that that is them, that is not you. And you need to find yourself, okay, and live your best life. So with that said, I'm going to say have a nice day to all and take care. Bye-bye.